The Survivor specialists are back, and it's 50 days till 50. And here we are, timing that out absolutely perfectly. We have another great top 50 episode for you here. It's going to work a little bit differently than our characters if you listen to that on Monday. If you haven't listened to that, make sure you go check it out. But we are drafting today instead of just ranking. So we don't know what each other are going to pick. It is myself. It is Blake. It is Tegwith. Alexa is down there. She's back. She's hanging out. And we have Adam Klein, who we just put through a living hell because the poor man is just struggling nonstop as he's been trying to come up with his episodes here to get ready to draft. Tegwith's making faces, and I'm terrified. Should I be terrified, Tegwith?
No. I just want to say everything I do, I'm going to tell you the truth when it comes to when it's my point. I'm telling you everything that is the truth.
Quite a start.
What is the context?
Yeah, what we haven't even introed yet.
The order.
Tegwith picked the draft order and she put it in the random name generator or whatever she puts it in the Tegwith generator where Tegwith just wins every time. So I gotta get Adam in here first though. Adam, you are in here. Will said this is the hardest thing in the world. You got to get a super duper fan in there. He's like, I'm just not big enough of a fan. So Adam, I approached you with this and you said, I think I could do it. There's no way I can do a ranking. If we do it as a draft, that's fine. How's your Wednesday been?
Well, you got to study for something like this. Like, yeah, I know a lot about Survivor, and at the time that I was on Survivor, I would have said that I'm the biggest super duper fan that there ever was. But, it's been a while since I've gone and I'm not the type of person that goes and rewatches seasons. If you put me up against everybody who's ever watched it all the way through one time, I'll beat them all. But I don't know. Some people, they go back, they watch 3, 4, 5 times. They've got these episodes memorized. I don't know which number episode this thing happened. So I'm just thinking of moments and then putting those moments on my list. But it takes a long time. I think I underestimated how much time this would took. And I think I procrastinated a little bit too much. I've got 25 on my list plus 10 honorable mentions that I think you guys will pick up and talk about. So I'm hoping that's enough to give my 10 here.
and if it's not, don't worry, everybody. There's a list of 93 that I may or may not have sent to some people. Alexa's going off of a 100 episode list. She understood the assignment totally. Alexa, that's coming through your mic. That's not coming through your mic. That's coming through your headphones again. Yep. Alexa's now angry. Blake, why don't we go to you then while Alexa figures out her microphone? She's having technical difficulties. She's been out of the game for too long. Blake, what do you got?
I've got 3 note cards. It took me an hour and a half last night, almost 2 hours. I went through each Wikipedia one by one. Wikipedia and Survivor, I've been doing that for 15 years at this point, so I'm very aware of where I need to look and how I need to look. It is interesting if it's okay, we've got episode synopsis where you're I remember, okay, this person went home, but do we care how good the challenge was? Do we care what the coming back from last tribal, there was a tiff or whatever? And I think there's some stuff I like personally is where somebody gets ganged up on, or it's my favorite tribe. Almost when my favorite tribes lose, it's a more interesting episode because I get to watch my favorite tribe go to tribal. Who cares that La Mina is going to tribal because they got beat by Kasaya? Spoilers, don't take that one. But it is something where it's okay, somebody's getting ganged up. Some of my favorite people are going. And I think iconic moments in the show that also had a pretty good development of the game is where I kind of trended towards.
So let me just, before you start throwing some shade at Lamina here, Cale Donnelly, deep cut, in my opinion, Exile Island, episode 6, Salvation and Desertation, the true stud and legend, Dan Barry, gets voted out. That is in the comments on the video we posted today on Instagram. So look, you throw shade at Lamina, just understand what the people want is Dan Fuego, the incombustible.
Maybe it's time to get another astronaut so we can forget about him by now. Come on, casting. Let's go.
The best. Alexa, how's your microphone? You back?
It's good. I think I'm not going to move my head or body for 2 hours while we're talking. So bear with me. Bear with me through that. Phil, what are you going to do when one of us picks Dan's vote out as like our number one, and then you have to scramble to completely adjust your rankings?
I'm gonna be in trouble.
It may or may not be on my list.
I might base my list based on whatever Phil wants to do. I also had a hard time with this. Phil called me when I had 31 episodes. So they were also similar to Adam. They were not ranked. They were, what's the moment I'm thinking of? And I also only wrote moment and season. So I am definitely going to struggle to be like, oh, is episode 8 of season whatever. So this was fun, but significantly harder than I thought it was going to be.
I love this because I sat here and Tegwith, I'm going to get to you with your ranking. I sat here and I was like, man, this is so easy. I'm having the time of my life. And I'm realizing now that I have something wrong with me and that I like this stuff a little too much. And it's not a knock on any of you. It's just the fact of when I approached Adam with this, I thought Adam was going to be like, oh yeah, dude, like the Dragon Slayer, greatest episode of all time. And you know, $1 Million Gamble. That's the second greatest episode of all time. And I thought he was just going to be rattling off names. And, you know, here I am feeling good about myself. So thank you all for being here as my selected panel. Tegwith, why don't you give us your approach? And then why don't you give us this totally BS order that I'm about to go with?
Okay, so I first want to say my name came up first, and I said I can't. This is gonna the bias. People are gonna think that I am rigging this, and I literally redid it.
You should put it on the screen.
I did. I changed it. I'm sorry. I only did it one time. I can go back. I mean, I only did it. It's when it spin of the wheel, but I did it once. And I said, they're going to think that I rigged it. And so then I rigged it. You're right, Adam. I actually, in order to not seem like I was rigging it, I then ended up rigging it. Damn it.
Unbelievable.
Sounds like Borneo all over again.
Exactly. I do. So with this, I actually thought this was going to be a lot harder than it actually was. I really enjoyed this. I will say Ryan and I used him a little bit. I used his brain. And we just sat down and we just talked about it for probably about an hour and a half and just like talking about what episodes we liked. And he looked up on Reddit. I'm afraid of Reddit. So he's my Redditor where he'll go and read stuff.
That's helpful.
Yeah. And he read some like episodes. I was like, oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. So I had so much fun coming with my list. I have a definitely, a maybe, and a kind of on my, but I also bolded the ones that I really wanted, and not all of the definitelys I bolded, which I don't really understand my ranking because I have a kind of bolded, but I don't have 4 definitelys bolded. So you can go and figure out what that means. But I'm really excited to get into it.
I got to just throw this comment up before you give us the order. Andy Vogel, Nick Stanberry haters need to cut it. Could not agree more. The greatest final words other than Jeff Kent in the history of the show. All right, Tegwith. Hit us with your rigged, non-rigged. Just give us one of them. We don't care which one it is. Just tell us which one it is.
All right. So it's Alexa's first.
Amazing.
Phil next.
Okay.
Then me. Then Blake, then Adam. I'm so sorry.
Go back to the first list. Go back to the unrigged list.
This is fantastic.
Oh, God.
I'm just so happy to be a guest.
You weren't happy with the first one. And
I
then
was very happy with the first one. I was incredibly happy with the first one. I have one.
And where was I? Where was I on that first one?
I didn't. Once I came up first,
Didn't have him.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm just happy to be here.
At least, or is it 1 through 5 every time?
Well, we're gonna snake this. Come on.
Yeah.
We're gonna snake this. Come on. So here's the deal. So Austin made us this so that we can all track it, so that you can actually hear.
Thank
us
you,
tonight.
Austin. We should show a picture of Austin. Show what he looks like to everybody.
Yeah, let me get Austin Cardi up here real quick. Another Lamina. Damn, that is 3 Lamina references here, Blake. You're gonna die. So here we go. So we're gonna be able to update this as we go. Obviously, it's not in the order. I think it's in the order of how much he likes everybody. So Adam,
great.
I think actually it's in reverse order of how much he likes everybody because I annoy him nonstop. So you get to be number 1. But I have the order. We're gonna snake it. Alexa, you get pick 1, 1, 1.
Good luck, Alexa. I'm proud of everybody, no matter what happens. We'll still be friends.
This is crazy. I was not expecting this. When you said that you respun it, I assumed that you got first again. But
that would have been crazy.
Okay, so with my first pick, I'm going to go with If It Smells Like a Rat, Give It Cheese. Ha! Yes.
Period.
Thank you. I was in between probably a few others that you are all going to pick first, but this one is pretty self-explanatory. Blake, do you want to speak? As to why you picked this? Why you could have picked
Yeah,
this?
It's the most referenced episode of Survivor history. It is the how to get someone immediately hooked. Go for it.
That's exactly it. This is what you show people who have never watched Survivor, who think it's fake, who think it's boring. It's self-explanatory. It's fantastic. And Phil and I talked about this however many podcasts ago. This is an episode where you know exactly what is going to happen, and it is still fantastic. There is zero suspense. You know what's going to happen, and it delivers even more than you think it would.
So
if they think it's fake, you show them this episode as like, here's something believable that happens.
here's what women can do to men.
And I just want for everybody on the record, Adam started this episode with 32 episodes. He's now down to 31. There's no doubt about it. So his pool gets smaller. That's a great 1-1, Alexa. I don't think many people are going to complain about that. So I get to go 2. And that means that I get to get the one that I really, really want. And that is the Martyr Approach. That's my favorite episode. It always will be. There's no way anything's ever going to top it. I'm trying to type it as I go. And then I'll get into it. So the Martyr Approach is obviously Coach's time on Exile Island. I understand that it's polarizing for some. There's so many people who absolutely cannot stand Coach. I can stand Coach. We just ranked him as the #1 character in Survivor history on Monday. I think that we might have underrated him there. He's that good. So I love this episode. Everything about it. Hit me with your best shot, Pat Benatar, is like the greatest line in the history. That might not even be from this episode. It's still the greatest line in history. Aaron just saying it's the Martyr Approach and him taking that so personally, the collapse at the immunity challenge, Steven being so worried about him. JT hitting him with the let's do the honorable thing, Coach, like everything about it. And this man just walking around with his stick, the shots, everything Survivor did here. This is when Survivor was at its peak. So I'm taking the Martyr Approach. Thank you, Alexa, for not taking it.
Happy to help.
That's me.
I gotta dodge one more, please.
I do not think that this is on anybody's list, but I am taking it just because I cannot risk somebody else having it. I would be very upset if somebody else had this. And that's going to be, don't hate me. It's going to be Operation Italy.
Okay.
Wow.
Alexa, you're going other microphone again.
I'm going Operation Italy. And I kind of think that, is it the 3rd best episode of Survivor history? Probably not, but it's one of the ones that I absolutely love. And if the idea of it not being in my 10 episodes just haunts me. And I didn't know where anybody was going here. I probably could have chosen second, but I just don't want to risk it. I think it's just fun from the whole, all of it. The fact that, it's players that we really love. It's Andy, who had such a crazy arc that season. The way it ended up working out, it only could have gone better if I love that Rachel won the season, but the only way that episode could have been better is if Rachel didn't win immunity. But also the fact that she did win immunity and it still worked. I think that, everyone had to lie. Everybody had to sell it. And they still had to trust Andy throughout the whole thing. I think it's so great. And so, yeah, I had to choose it. Maybe people are going to hate that I chose it first, but I'm sticking with it. I'm sorry.
New era in round 1. What
is
this?
I know. Yeah. I'm sorry. I needed it to be in my 10. I'm sorry. You know what? You can't bully me, internet.
You got to know your audience, Tegwith. I don't think any of us were even thinking about the new era yet. And Adam just has a big smile on his face because he's like, "What the hell was Operation Italy?" Like, I don't care.
I know.
It was just, I was scared. I knew that none of you was going to choose it. We're going to choose it, but I just was scared. So I took it.
I feel like Blake might hit us with a first 5 seasons episode right here. Go ahead, Blake.
If Operation Italy taught us we will learn to love again for Survivor, my first episode I ever watched was Jury's Out. And that was when if my first episode I ever watched was also one of the ones that made the game advanced crazy. Sean Rector says, "Why are you guys going with those people? We can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get out. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a great challenge where they show the whole pecking order. It's just people realizing this is how the game is played. We're only 2 years into Survivor's history at this point. And then we get some amazing voting confessionals. We get somebody crying when they're going home. It was a front runner, probably. John Carroll was ready to win that whole season. He was ready to go. And then it was like, no, let's play Survivor. Bet on Black, Sean Rector, one of my favorite dudes for the longest time. I think it's that episode and another one are his best ones. So I think Marquesas was a trailblazer in my mind of why I like this show so much. And that's my favorite episode of and why.
So Adam, I'm going to hit you with this. I believe, and I want to know if you believe the same, because you have been a fan for so long. Most important episode in the history of the show?
I mean, no, not for me. Not for me. I mean, I would say what it is, but it's on my list and I'm not picking it yet.
Okay.
Should I say it anyway? I don't know.
No, don't say it. We'll hear it when you get there, but Jury's Out for me, I think, is the most important, because I think Survivor had hit a point where it was the same show every time. And we had seen 3 merges where whoever had the majority, they just rolled through. And Kathy Vavrick O'Brien, Pascal English, Nalia Dennis, Sean Rector, and Vesepia Towery Robinson changed everything. And none of them get the credit anymore because that was so long ago. And the most recent person we've seen from that bunch is Kathy in season 8. They changed everything. They really did. So,
period.
Adam, you get back-to-back picks.
So I have 2 picks here. And because I do, I'm going to actually go first with the one that is nowhere near the top of any of your lists, but I want it to be my first pick because it is the episode that I show people when I want to introduce them to Survivor, because it is, to me, the funniest episode in Survivor history. And it is Nothing Tastes Better Than $500 from Survivor Gabon.
Damn.
It has it all. It's got the auction where Randy buys the cookies and gives them out, and then ends up with only 1 cookie left, says, "Hey, Sugar, you sure you don't want a cookie?" Sugar says, "Oh, you know what? Actually, I will take the cookie." Randy gets no cookies. And then they vote Randy out at Tribal Council in the most hilarious fashion with some of the best voting confessionals of all time. Even Randy's is amazing. This vote is not strategic. It is strictly personal. You have the most iconic vote out, probably the most iconic vote out confession of all time, which I'm going to let Tegwith go for because I know that she's itching at the bit to say it.
For which one?
Forget
you. Go home. Goodbye.
It's just an absolute classic. I'm laugh out loud laughing the entire episode. So I want that to be at the top of my list.
I love it.
Good choice.
My next choice is one that I am going to be stealing from all of you. One of the most iconic episodes in Survivor history. I feel like you guys know what I'm probably going to say. It is The Great Lie, Survivor Pearl Islands, the dead grandma lie. And that episode is so much more than Jerry Springer, than Johnny Fairplay's grandma being at home watching Jerry Springer on television. It also has Sandra throwing out the fish, which is overshadowed by the dead grandma lie, but is another outrageously incredible moment in Survivor history where she gets away with sabotaging the tribe, blames it on Krista, I believe, or they blame it on Krista. And it's just, I remember watching that live. I remember everyone remembers where they were on 9/11 and when they watched Johnny Fairplay lie about his dead grandma. Do you all remember where you were when you watched that?
I was on my couch with my disgusted parents who were like, this guy's a monster.
And I remember going through the full emotion of it, like, oh my God, this poor guy. And then jaw drop. Incredible.
Yeah. And he talked to me for 40 minutes on my birthday yesterday. What a guy. He's the nicest guy. Love Johnny Fairplay.
Is that true?
I swear to God, he talked to me for 40 minutes yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Thank-
birthday.
Yeah, happy
Thank
birthday.
you. That's the important. I just wanted people to know that Johnny Fairplay talks to me on my birthday. I don't think he knew it was my birthday, but he talks.
I totally thought.
But anyway, The Great Lie is obviously iconic. I mean, look, I think across the board there, you have 5 of the most iconic episodes. And then Operation Italy, I can't even knock because it's probably the most iconic of the new era. Like, that is the one that made people say, holy shit, Survivor can still be good. So that's a hell of a start. We're back to Blake.
I do want to say, like, every single one of those are on my note cards. So it's like, we know what we're doing. We're specialists. But I think I'm going to choose another sentimental fave that won't be on y'all's list. I did say a little bit about it. It's Bob Dog's boot. For COD's sake, I think it is something where this challenge is my favorite challenge in Survivor history of throw these beans, throw these rice, now throw these big ass fish. And my favorite tribe is losing, but then the fish gets a Bob Dog and he goes 1, 2, and just keeps going through all the fish or whatever. But then they get home and their fire's gone, and they're like, "How do we eat this?" And then it's like, "You never heard of sashimi?" And it was like, "No, I haven't. I'm from Texas." Like, what are they about to do? And they're eating fish without doing this. And then it's like they do lose to Lamina for the only time they lose to Lamina, and all of these cast of characters who like are legitimately my favorite tribe in the history of the show are like, what are we going to do? Who's going to go? We all hate each other. And it's like Bob Dog is a little more abrasive than the rest of us, but it's an amazing tribal of like, are the guys going to stick together or not or whatever? And it's something where I think it's one of those on all levels of like, why am I enjoying myself so much when my favorite tribe is losing? Okay, it's not all about like, whenever I watch sports, I want my team to win no matter what. I can never find my team lost, but it was kind of cool. This is why reality TV is different. And like, it was like, oh, duh. That is something that I think will be for forever. Of it's almost fun to watch your favorite people cannibalize each other or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Also,
for COD's
Blake,
sake is amazing.
Blake, I know you
And
love
then,
Panama.
Charmin like Shaq too with the wine.
One of Alexa's favorites, maybe still her favorite, but that was the second time that they lost to Lamina. Because don't forget that Melinda got voted out and then Bruce got to join the tribe. So that's just saying.
That's
We'll
a
get to
different
mine.
iteration of Kasaya. Don't worry. I don't know.
I want to, before I get to you, Tag with, I just want to quickly, because we had asked people what's your favorite episode. So just so that we all know that we're on the right track here, we did have an Operation Italy Tag with. We had Felt and Jacob throughout Operation Italy. JDB3 said DVG. Oh no, somebody else said the John Carroll boot, and then JDB3 said Randy Boot Gabon. So look at that. We got plenty of people in here who are loving what we're doing so far, and we're hitting the real favorites. So Tag with, you took the new era. Are you staying new school or are you going old?
No, I can't do it. I can't do that across the board. I know I have a reputation of being the new era defender, but you know, I gotta spread the love. And I will say,
not that crazy.
and I will want to say, Adam, you did steal. That one was on my list. I was going to choose it next.
Oh, wow.
I almost chose it first.
Wow. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm glad somebody chose it. That's all I care about. Okay, so I'm between two here, and this is very difficult for me because I think I'm going to go with You Call, We Haul.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be, it's one of the most iconic tribal council moments of all time. Also, like, it's just, part of me, when it comes to this whole thing, like, there are some episodes that I really like that have really bad names. And I'm like, I don't actually think I like you as much anymore because you have a bad name. So I feel like You Call, We Haul is such an iconic, it's like in your head. You know exactly when you hear that, like, if you're a Survivor fan, you know what that means. I can literally just picture Keith riding in that tuk-tuk. Like, it's just so wonderful. It's a really happy episode, but there's also really great gameplay. I'm a huge fan of it, and I love. Yeah, I gotta go. You Call, We Haul.
I love it. Yeah, that's the Kelly Wentworth. Wentworth will not count.
Will not count. Yeah.
And who could ask for more?
Truly. And I mean, up until, 45, it was the, most votes negated in one episode, most votes against one person, and she's still in the game. And then also like getting out Savage, like the whole thing, it's just it's such a great, and he's a great character, but it's just like, it couldn't have been better. Like, that's how, it's one of those things where it just like, this can't be written. Like, this is so real. I love it.
We said it last night, and it's got Abby Maria's line of "At least you made the jury this time."
Yes,
He turns around and
yes.
flips with a bird. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
it's so good.
so
It's
incredible.
so good.
Look, I am floored here. This is crazy. You guys just I can't believe it. Like, I am absolutely shocked.
Don't take it, Phil.
I don't know if I'm taking the one you want, Alexa. I have to go to Heroes versus Villains. Do you want me to go to Heroes versus Villains?
It's your turn. I couldn't take your spotlight like that.
I know. So here's the thing, though. There are 2 episodes from Heroes versus Villains right now that I will gladly take. And I can't believe that neither one has been picked.
I almost chose one. I almost just chose one, just so you know.
I am going to go with, after all this, I'm going to go with Banana Etiquette.
Yeah.
I can't believe I was like, if I say nothing, maybe everyone will forget about it.
I can't believe
right up there.
Yep.
I can't believe it's still here. I mean, I was
Okay.
picking second. I knew I was going to get Martyr Approach because I had a feeling Alexa wasn't going to go that route. I know she's not the biggest Coach fan. And so I was like, you know what? I have to sacrifice that I'm not going to get one of the big ones from season 20. And honestly, there's 2 others that I think you could take from season 20 that I'm surprised aren't gone yet. So Banana Etiquette is just incredible. This is where Tyson votes himself out of the game, and then they finally vote James out. And James is talking about, did you know that there's a banana etiquette? And this is the double tribal council where they're eating the hot dogs and they're doing all that. You get an absolutely epic blindside. You lose. Honestly, coming into the season, you probably lost my 2 favorite characters in the same episode, and it's a top 10 episode in Survivor history. That's how good Survivor was at this time. I love Banana Etiquette. I
let's not forget Tyson votes himself out in
Mhm.
this episode.
Yes, and don't let Tyson tell you otherwise, right, Adam? He tries to say he didn't vote himself out, but
Yeah, he did.
he did. All right, Alexa, go back to your other microphone, and then it's your turn. For 2
I
in a
think
row.
I fixed myself while you were talking, but same as you, Phil. I actually cannot believe that it made that far, but I get to go back to back now, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. I'm going to take Going Down in Flames, Survivor Heroes versus Villains. I was going to take Banana Etiquette. Figured I would get one of them. Phil, I'm curious what your third of the 3 for Heroes versus Villains are. Going Down in Flames, the Women's Alliance that never was, the double idol play, just pretty self-explanatory. My next one is, I don't know if this would be on any of your lists, but Survivor Co Wrong, Signed, Sealed, Delivered. This
that's
is
a good
the medical evacuation episode. This is something I would never show to people if I want to convince them to play Survivor. But this is an episode where I remember freaking out, stuck to the TV, couldn't get up off the couch, like cannot believe this is happening. And although I probably changed Survivor in many ways because Survivor is certainly never going back there, but that was one of those, this is not a show, like this is a completely real crazy situation. And I'm glad it's on my list.
Can I add something to that from my experience watching that episode? So that episode aired right before I left to go play Survivor. And I remember, my mom had to have a hip replacement because the cancer had gone into her bones and weakened her bones or whatever. So she had to get a hip replacement. So she was in like this recovery facility. So it wasn't quite a hospital, but it was like she was in a hospital bed. And we were watching Survivor together, and she knew that I was going on the show, and we were watching this episode, and she was looking at me like, what are you doing? Like, what is that? Like, that's the show? That's like how? And, it was like, obviously there was a lot going on in our lives, but I was like, Mom, if you can do this, I can do that. And that was like, I think maybe the last or the second to last episode that we watched before I went out and played.
Wow.
So that one definitely
Oh my
has
gosh.
a special place.
And Alexa took it from you here. Alexa.
Yeah, no, good.
I have to make sure, though, that we get this in here. This is also when they vote out Alicia, and people forget that.
Yes.
And that tribal council is honestly hilarious because you watch this whole epic thing. You're like, they're not going to tribal. And they're like, actually, we still are. And it's just to vote out the person that gets bullied relentlessly.
And they
for 3
hard cut.
episodes.
They hard cut from this extremely emotional scene straight to tribal council.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Oh. I didn't remember that.
True. All
All right,
right,
next
Phil.
up.
You guys all keep talking.
Phil, it's you, bro. No,
When I freeze,
you got to go
keep
quick.
talking.
You don't get a lot of thinking in, bro.
Oh, he froze. I thought he was just thinking.
Me too.
No, I froze. No, if I freeze, just keep talking. I have way too many tabs open right now, and then I got the second computer.
It's
open.
hard to see
internet-
because the chart is taking up so much space.
Yeah, start
Yeah,
over, Phil. Go. Good luck. You got this.
Yeah, and we're good. Look, there's still a lot that I want here,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna go with Head of the Snake.
Oh,
Survivor
Yeah.
Candy, the
Darn
merge
it.
episode. And I think like Alexa and I, we just got the 2 best merge episodes, in my opinion, in the history of the show. And you get Going Down in Flames. I don't know if there's more at stake than what we see in Going Down in Flames with the heroes versus the villains, who's going to come out on top, double idol play, all that. But then this is the one where Sarah Lucina overplays her hand. And I think that this is just like an absolutely incredible episode of TV. The idol plays that are wrong. The first time Jeffra's name comes up and there's the defeat on her face, all the way up to somehow it's not her going home. Spencer's line of Chaos Cast, 0% chance of winning. And she's just like, I don't know about that. And then
People
even
are
everything in the buildup.
clapping
Yes, Sarah just overplaying her hand. Like it is an absolute masterclass in playing cards that you don't have. And yeah, I have Head of the Snake here. I have the best. I have the 3 best episodes. Everybody keep taking your favorites so I can just get the best episodes.
Oh,
well, I will say I was literally about to choose that. Like I'm very sad. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, now I gotta rethink everything. You know what? I'm gonna go with this. Might not be the best episode ever, but I really love this episode. I think it's a really good kickoff to the best season, or one of the best seasons in my opinion. And I think it's something that has not been replicated before. And I'm gonna go with Beg, Barter, and Steal, the Pearl
good
Islands
one.
premiere.
Top of my list.
I love that episode so much because really in Survivor, number one, first time that they thought they were going out to go take photos and they're in these ridiculous outfits and they're, nope, you're actually starting the game. Like everyone is like, that dress and obviously Lil's outfit, all of it's ridiculous. But then we get to see Rupert like being a pirate and stealing the shoes, and Sandra, like everything about it, I think is such a wonderful introduction to one of the best seasons. And I just think it's a really, really fun episode. A great kickoff to a wonderful season. So that's going to be my number 3.
Adam, was that the one you thought you were going to get on the way back?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that is the first one that I actually had on my list, but for some reason I decided to go with my next 2 the last time, but it's right at the top of my list. It's one of it's probably my all-time favorite episode of Survivor.
It's such a good episode. Sometimes I'll just watch it. I won't watch the whole season. I'll just watch the episode because it brings a smile to my face. I like it so much.
There's something about that pirate theme that just gets me going and gets me excited.
1,000%. I think Adam and I have very similar lists.
Yeah, and Sandra in the town.
It's so good.
Oh my god,
It's so good. It's
When
so
Rupert's
good.
stealing the shoes, I mean, it's just like the list goes on. I don't know why they never brought something like that back ever again.
It's
I know.
So good.
Big mistake.
Big mistake. All right,
Big
Blake.
mistake.
It's a big mistake. What are you about to do?
Well, we mentioned it earlier, and then I thought it would be something that people would go after, and then nobody did. So I'm excited to pick the actual best merge episode ever, Girls Gone Wilder from Amazon. Why do I like this show? And it's stuff I'll never see in person. And there's so much stuff going on there where it's like it's men versus women, right? Is the whole like this is what this theme is. And it's like, how about we get the most misogynistic person, and RIP, but like it's somebody where it's like they just beat him up for an hour, where they're like, he sucks, There's no way and like everybody is
Oh,
lying.
that's what you'll never get to see in person?
Oh crap!
I was
almost
waiting for you.
And then, hey Jeff, or what would we do for chocolate and peanut butter? We'll take all our clothes off. Jeff, get them some chocolate and peanut butter. I thought that was like the culmination of men versus women, of like sexuality kind of hasn't been used as a layer in this game yet. And it was so influenced into this game where you're like, yes, I'm a very impressionable 13, 14, 15-year-old watching this stuff. From this to like sometimes in China, you're like, oh, this is a different layer of the show that I think was a part of the show back in the day that I don't think can be ignored or forgotten about or not told to a new era of fans. And the most insane moment like that was we're taking off our clothes and we're models, and
one of them is going to go on to win, which I think
one of them is
also
actually going to win later.
Yeah.
And I think just beating the punching bag that was Roger was very fun to watch. Of like, nobody likes this guy, let's vote him out, even though it's going to lose the game for half of these people.
And I think it's funny now because people will say Girls Gone Wilder didn't age well because of like how people were acting on that episode. But at the same time, it's like, think about how iconic that moment is. Think about how crazy that is. And even if you think that that's like cringy now, think about how they beat the crap out of the guy who is the misogynist. For the rest of the
That's
episode.
why it's so good, because
Yeah.
she ends up winning.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, Adam, you get back to back.
I've been looking at this, trying to think. I have a few different choices, and I can't really decide. Let's start with one that is a little more obvious. That is, we talked about earlier, what I think the most important episode in the history of Survivor is. It happens to be the very first one I ever watched. It was the season finale of season 1 of Survivor, just simply entitled The Final Four.
Nice. Great choice.
One of the most watched television events in the history of television. It got what, 50 something million viewers? Am I remembering that correctly?
You are correct.
It's like outrageous. It was, for those of you who were not alive during that time, which I know is some people listening to this, it was literal water cooler talk. Do they even have water coolers anymore? I don't know. But everybody was talking about Survivor. And I remember my grandparents saying, who the hell would do this show? But you guys got to watch it. And I watched it, and it literally changed my life. I was hooked. The snakes and rats speech, it had it all. And we were all rooting against Richard Hatch. At least I was. Everybody was. And now I think we're very grateful that he won that season, because to me, him winning that season is what created Survivor into what it is. Because what it showed was, you don't have to be the most honest and the most loyal in order to win this game.
And just to put into perspective, so the premiere of Survivor had 15 million viewers. The finale had 51.69 million viewers. So you're talking a literal jump of 40, what is that? 35, 36 million people more were watching that finale. And yeah, that was the only episode from season 1. I know other people might have some season 1 episodes, but that was the only one from season 1 that I was looking at, Adam. So you snuck that one in.
I'm going to go to one that I don't think is going to be on too many of your lists, but that reignited some of my love for Survivor. Again, these are kind of personal picks, but I was in college when this episode aired. And I remember during this entire season, I would call home every single week and say, can you believe it? And it may have aged poorly, but at the time, nobody had ever done what Russell Hantz did in Survivor Samoa. And when he started to find idols without clues, it blew my mind. And so the episode I'm going with is Tastes Like Chicken, episode 9 of Survivor Samoa, where Kelly is blindsided when they successfully play a hidden immunity idol to save the Fofo 4. And I think that that season and the way that Russell found idols those seasons changed and in many ways reinvigorated the game of Survivor.
Alexa and I did a couple of years ago now. We did what would be the best Survivor season if you went with the best episode that started with a certain number of players. So like, what was the best episode that started with 20 players? Was the best episode that started with 19, 18, 17, all the way down. This was our pick for what is this final 10, like, or 9 or whatever it is. Maybe it was 11. It was 11 because Eric goes at 12. This was our pick for final 11. Tastes Like Chicken was definitely.
And it doesn't seem that outrageous now, but at the time it was unbelievable.
Yeah, it really was. Russell Hantz, our third best character, according to our list on Monday, because of Tegwith too, everybody. Tegwith.
Yeah. We don't need to bring that up again. It's haunting me. It's following me.
Phil hasn't
Own
forgotten about
it.
stuff I did 8 years ago, so good luck on
Yeah.
that.
The problem is I hate him. So it was like, I don't like him. I don't enjoy watching him. And yet I still ranked him so high. Ugh.
Because he's an incredible character.
Yeah, I know he is. We don't have to say it all the time.
I can't wait till Tegwith ends this with 4 Samoa episodes.
Okay, so we have some episodes kind of like this on our list already of Signed, Sealed, Delivered. And it's also, I feel like this maybe the second most referenced one after Smells Like Rat, Give It Cheese, but it's Trial by Fire.
Wow.
How did you know this?
Dude, I can just feel where
Wow.
you're telling me.
How did you know this?
He was already typing it.
The most like quotable moment ever. Ah! Or whatever, like his literal like straps of skin are hanging off of his hand. And I was just like, I didn't watch it when it first came on. I saw it on all of those VH1 shows of like VH1. They did I Love the 80s, whatever. The Survivor one where they asked behind the scenes, and Ethan was like, I would play Survivor for a piece of pizza. Of course I'll go back for All Stars. And so it was like, damn, this happened. Somebody almost died, maybe. Like, yeah, they would die if they didn't have medical attention, probably. Like that's what happens if you're in the wild. That's our guy. Okay. Whatever happened 30 years, 20 years, 15 years later with him, who cares? Like, not who cares. But like in this moment, that was one of the most insane things that I think it was a holy shit. And just as much as like Caleb almost dying, this is a terrible moment. And like rewatching it back years later, they don't tell the other tribe like he's okay. Mm-hmm. They like literally make Kucha's those guys, Ogakor. The other one that the tribe that he's not on is like it's Ogakor is like, oh, is he gonna be okay? And they're like, oh, we don't know, like he could be dead. And it's just like, holy crap. And they don't try to have a challenge. They don't try to fill in the space. They let it breathe. And that's like, okay, the first time we see some cameramen on there. And I think it was yes, this is real. We can stop having this be a main question because we didn't ask somebody to put their hands in the fire. It was a freak accident. Inhaled the thing and just dove in. Mm-hmm. And you're like, holy shit. Like, this is insane. And I don't see that on my other favorite shows, SpongeBob and Cowardly Dog. Like,
Courage, the Cowardly Dog. Don't forget it.
Yeah.
I just like, because Adam, you were
great choice.
Water cooler moments and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The build up to that episode, people thought he got eaten by a crocodile. They thought nobody knew what happened to him. It was insane. I just remember the build up to that was crazy for that whole week. So, all right, Tegwith, as you can see, you're still the only person who took an episode post season 32. So you were probably safe on Operation Italy, but
yeah,
where you at?
you know what? You can't regret the things that you did. And do I regret it a little bit? Yes, but you can't. So I am going to probably choose another, I'm choosing another late one here. Like a recent one. But it is one of my favorite episodes. It is actually, my friend came over. This was the first season I watched live. I know I'm a newbie. You can roast me in the comments. But you find your thing, and when you find it, you stick with it. But this was one of the first episodes this was the first episode my friend ever watched of Survivor. And I'm like, wow, you got so lucky, because it is Jackets and Eggs from David versus Goliath.
Nice.
It is so incredible. It is so iconic. It is like one of those things where people who didn't watch Survivor, like knew what I was talking about. And I feel like that was one people at this point were still asking me, is that show still on? And yet people knew, like, it was a viral moment. It was crazy. And it's not only the Natalie, can I have your jacket? It's also the egg debacle. Like, them talking about the eggs is so ridiculous and like crazy and so wonderful. And of course, it's just one of the most iconic things that has come out of the show in the last 10 years. So yeah, I know it's another late one or early one or recent one, whatever the word is, but it's a great episode. It is a great episode.
Yeah, it's I mean, Angelina, everybody's excited. We got the news about 50, the pregame stuff that Dalton put out, which if you haven't read his article, Dalton Ross's article today was insane. Just incredible. If you're not hyped for 50, just go read that. And Angelina's talking about what jacket she's going to bring on there. So, all right, I'm up next. I'm going to go old school. I'm going to go with the twist. Simply Called That from Survivor Africa. Just, it changed the entirety of Survivor. Up to that point, we had just been watching two tribes go at it, emerge. That was it. And we watched these old people and these young people butt heads on Sambuhu, as Lex and Ethan called it, and watch them just butt heads over and over again. And Silas and Lindsay were so cocky. Nothing could go wrong for them. And Silas says, I'll take the two old folks. We'll figure this out. And then that moment when it's, hey, drop your buffs, we're switching tribes, and whatever Jeff says. And Silas's reaction to that moment is just one of my favorites of all time. So to me, this is the best of the classic Survivor episodes. Like, I'm talking like the first 3 seasons. This is my favorite because it just showed what the show could become. So I am going with the twist from Survivor Africa.
Great choice.
Good choice.
Alexa
loves Africa.
I love Africa.
All right. Well, I could never deliver my choice with the suspense that Blake does, but I guess I'm going to try. So it's similar, well, in a very different manner to being glued to the couch, obsessed, staring at the TV, as when 3 people were almost medically evacuated and go wrong. I also remember being a middle schooler, watching the finale of my favorite show, and Ozzy, who I had a huge crush on, told Amanda, who I probably also had a huge crush on, that he loved her. And in that exact same episode, Natalie Bolton, who didn't exist 48 hours prior, asked Parvati how her game resonated to her performance in the bedroom. And I really didn't appreciate how insane that episode was until now, my ripe old age of 32. Stir the Pot Survivor Micronesia finale is going to be my choice.
Great choice.
I also wanted to pick the final 4. I feel like finales are, I'm curious if everyone will continue to pick finales, but there's a lot of premieres and finales that definitely could be chosen here. So I was very happy to take this one. And then I am going to sandwich this episode with another medical evacuation. My first season of Survivor was Survivor Panama, and Medical Emergency, which is aptly the name of this episode, where Bruce is medically evacuated by a naked Shane and a Courtney who had been roasted for 3 straight days. This is also the episode where they do the what's the name of the challenge where you vote on like who you like and who you don't like. There's a name for
one from Jury's Out. I forget what it's called. Will would know that off the top of his head. Where you know it's not the one from Jury's Out. It's you vote and Courtney
touchy
just
subjects.
Touchy subjects. Yeah,
Like
Courtney just gets
Yeah.
absolutely destroyed this entire challenge, and it's so funny. And then Bruce goes home. Touchy subjects. Thank you, Andy. So Stir the Pot and not touchy subjects and Medical Emergency are my 2 choices here.
Can I just say, with Medical Emergency, genuinely, so when Ryan and I were like coming up with ones, he goes, wouldn't it be so funny if you chose the one where Bruce got medically evacuated? And I was like, that'd be so good. But I feel like that's just like, whatever. I'm so happy it got chosen because it was one of the first episodes we talked about. It was one of the first episodes we talked about. And I'm so happy you chose it. It's so good.
You guys have taste.
I love that. Alexa and Panama. Blake has just been carrying the Panama torch over on Patreon. He loves that season almost as much as you. You got to have a Panama stand on your podcast.
I do call it Exile Island, though, because that was its name.
God-given name.
All right. I'm going to go to season 16 And I'm going to go with I promise, ... When Ozzy gets blindsided and has that turnaround and that stare down, and you watch this man get voted out with the idol in his pocket, starts off maybe the greatest string of blindsides in the history of the show, where you go from Ozzy to Jason to Alexis to Eric. Like, what in the world was happening? What was in the waters of Micronesia? But I'm going to go with I promise here, just because I feel like the blind side, this is when Sari really like took over, and this is probably her, I think probably her most dominant play, because this was her moment. I know that the necklace is what a lot of people give her credit for, but this was all Sari. So I'm going to go with I promise, and Ozzy just turning around as the torch went out and just being like, what did you guys just do? And his haircut was ahead of his time, because now that's what everybody has the haircut of, the little like bob thing, whatever.
That's why you pick it.
That's it. That's why I actually picked it. So Tegwith, you're up.
All right. So I'm actually, I'm conflicted again here with a couple of, early ones. Okay. I'm going to go with, I think I just like the season better, so I'm going with this one. This is another game-changing moment. It's one thing that is such a big twist. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think people really hated it at the time. But it is one of those, like, and I'm actually kind of technically choosing 2 episodes here. But I'm so
pick which part, Tegwith.
I have to pick which part?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks. What?
I thought I would get both of them.
Let her have the whole part.
I had this on my list too, and I didn't know what to do
the
with
whole
it.
part.
Well, Adam wants part 2.
Okay, you know what?
I would have wanted both parts. Let Tegwith have both. It counts as one.
If you want, I can just choose the first part and somebody else can have the second part. But it's so good. And, obviously I already said it, I'm a recent viewer of the show. I started in 2018 is the first year I started watching. And when I saw this, like, my jaw dropped. I did not know it was coming. And I just like could not fathom that, like, what production had to do in order to make this happen. And everyone was surprised, and everyone that I like loved essentially came back. And I was just like, what is going to happen here? And I'm a big Burton fan, Bring
him back for 40.
Very happy.
Justice for Burton.
Very happy Burton came back in the game.
Oh,
Maybe
this is not what I was thinking.
But yeah, so it's going to go, I think it's called What the? Parts 1 and 2.
You got, I mean, these aired a week apart. I don't know if you get the savage food.
She gets both. Let her have both.
No way.
I can choose just one. I'll choose What the Part 1.
There you go. I make the rules here, Blake.
This actually was not where I thought you were going.
Really?
That's okay. Yeah.
Oh gosh, but where did you think I was going?
Well, I have a different episode on my list that I wrote which episode, like which.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm taking part 1, so if somebody wants part 2, they can have part 2.
There you go. Blake, you want part 2? This is your moment.
No, it's
okay.
Doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
Pure
That's why
anger
I'm like,
coming out of Blake's mouth now.
Yeah, if we give Tegwith the second part 2, we don't get baited into getting half an episode. Like,
it's not half an episode. I mean, you watch 2 people get voted out. You watch a challenge.
If this would have been 90 minutes, though, maybe if they had more time, it would have been all in one episode. Maybe.
Well, then I want to go to Panama, and I want to get when Sari and Danielle sat down to make fire, and I want the finale. I want both of those. Like, come on, they're 2 different episodes.
Okay.
Blake.
All right. I think people are going to go, oh, yeah. This one came to me in a dream. It's Plan Voodoo from Cook Islands. Of how do we get around idols? Well, this guy named Cowboy is perfect. It came to him in a dream. We're going to split the vote. This is how this works. And the whole time Yule's like, buddy, I've got the idol, but thanks for the idea. Bye. Also, I think this is another one of like one of my favorite challenges. Go put your arms around a pole and we're just going to try to rip you off of it. And these people hate each other at this point. So that was a great challenge. And then it's never bad when you lose like dead weight on the other tribe. Like Christina goes home. You're like, great. Like I'm tired of listening to her talk. So like that's amazing. Plan Voodoo. I think Cowboy has fans to this day. Is he better than Yao Man? No. Why are we Bruce, Cowboy, Yao Man, Ty? Like these are some of the best people ever. I think Cowboy has fallen off out of favor. Some of those other people have played twice. Bruce should come back. But like Cowboy, I think was such a weirdo that him having the wherewithal to basically play Survivor for everyone for the next 20 seasons of like, think back to what that guy did. This is how you get around it. Hilarious that guy has the strategic mind to do it, because that is not what I thought would happen whenever I was watching Cowboy that season.
And
honestly, Cook Islands is very fun whenever I was watching it back in the day. Not as fun watching it now, but I think it was if you were doing this in 2006 or 2007, you were having a blast. I was having a blast.
And Blake, when we were doing Every Season Matters, I made the note here of what the first person, Cowboy says, flush the idol and split the vote in episode 6. That is the first time either of those phrases are ever used. Flush the idol and
flush
split
came
the vote.
from him.
Yep.
Wow.
Both of them are Cowboy. So Adam, back to back.
Right.
You can take what the part 2.
No, I'm not going to. Okay. I think I've picked a lot of really good episodes, but a lot of them had sort of like personal memories attached to it. My next one is the most personal memory. It's going to be About to Have a Rumble, the loved ones visit from Survivor Millennials Gen X. I can't not pick this episode. I mean, this episode changed my life. It was also just I mean, I think it was a good episode. Like, it was a fun episode of Survivor, but it was also a really big one for me. It's where Will ultimately flips on his alliance and comes and votes with us, which I was much more a part of than you ever see in the episode. But that really was the key moment where if that doesn't happen, I don't think I win the game. And so it was huge in me winning the game. And then even more importantly, like the ability to get to see my brother out there. I didn't even know who was going to be coming for that loved one's visit. You know, obviously my top choice would have been my mom, but that wasn't an option. And then I put my dad, and then, you know, he couldn't come. And so I didn't, when my brother ran out though, and he had that big smile on his face, like growing up, we didn't have like the best relationship in the world. And so seeing my brother run out of that jungle with that huge smile plastered across his face, like, I cannot tell you what that did for me and my life. And then to have Jay pick me to join him for that loved one's visit. I mean, Jay became not only one of my like best friends, he became my brother. He became my roommate. I lived with him for 6 months in LA. It's where I met my now ex-wife. So a lot of my life has changed as a result of this episode. And I won immunity on top of it. And it's the only time I ever won immunity. And I played a hidden immunity idol. So it's just so many incredible memories and moments all in one episode. And I got rid of that advantage, that cursed advantage where you have to like steal a reward from somebody else. Yeah. So a lot of very, very incredible, wild memories. It's still like unfathomable that was even my life. So I gotta pick that. I gotta pick that one.
Wait, hang on. Before we move off that, because you just talked about like your whole life story in LA. That's also the reason why I was able to be yelled at incessantly by Hannah Shapiro in front of Rob Cesternino in your kitchen. And then later that night, me and Hannah Shapiro won the Beer Olympics thing, whatever the hell we were playing. So I'm just saying, or whatever we were doing, me and Hannah were teamed up in like Survivor Flip Cup or something after that. So it's all because Jay chose Adam for this reward, and I appreciate that. Jay.
Yep. That is a life-changing moment right there. And not biased at all. But we're all bringing our personal biases into this.
It's funny because Nick Snyder brings up a point here. Bro, Adam, you easily could have gotten that episode in the last round. Wasted pick here. Respected, though.
That was my next one.
I don't know. I think somebody might have snagged it. I'm not
the problem
so
is
sure
there's
about
two.
that.
I think there's 2 more episodes from your season that would go before it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that season. I need to still watch that one.
All right, my next pick is another emotional one, and it is Create a Little Chaos. Russell Swan voted out of Survivor Philippines.
Nice.
And the reason that I picked this one is it's just got all the heaviness and heart that makes Survivor beautiful, right? It's a heartbreaking episode to watch. You know, you have the Matt Singh tribe just continuously getting dominated, and they've become really close, and now they have to vote somebody else out, and just the power of the emotional power of this episode, I think is really incredible. So, I talked a lot about the last one, so I'll keep it more brief on this one, but that's my pick.
That's the one where
we just recently
throwing the thing and it's in slow motion like 5 times, and then Artist just sends them to the shadow realm. You're like,
just heartbreaking.
Saying Cliffo here, Lord, I mean Jeff. Like it's just the Russell Swan breakdown is insane, but that episode's incredible. All right, Blake, follow that up.
All right, so just like there are changes in the game when it comes to twists, there's changes in the game of how it's happening, how it's being presented. And our first episode that was ever in HD was the premiere of Gabon, called
Great choice.
Want to See the Elephant Dung? And we got to see Marcus's dick flop out of his shorts. That was crazy. we got to get introduced to the craziest cast in Survivor history. We had a pick'em where it was like, I would never pick these people in the right order. It really felt like it was the first David and Goliath season, because how is Fang going to win anything? We have multiple people being like, I'm not going to be the leader. You're not going to be the leader. Jillian gets voted out second. She was holding her buff with her hands like this the whole time. It's burned into my brain. And like, she only wanted to have her buff whenever it was her time. Michelle goes, like, these are people where it's like, these people are on Survivor. I could be on Survivor, but it's in HD. This is crazy. These cameras, it'll never look the same. Like literally when you go from Micronesia straight to Gabon, it changes on your computer on Peak or on Paramount, or it used to, or whatever. And it was like, dang, they bought all these cameras. Maybe Survivor's going to be around. And I don't know if we saw an elephant in the first episode, but it was like, we're back in Africa for the first time in a long time. Mm-hmm. This is very cool.
I also have to say there, Blake, that is the pick at the beginning of that might be one of the most entertaining moments in Survivor history, when I forget exactly who says it, but they're like, are we playing stupid Survivor or are we playing Survivor?
I think it's either Charlie or Corinne that says that. Yeah.
I think it's Charlie, which makes that funny because Charlie's the one who has the least negativity. So yeah.
Summon all of us, I guess.
Ted, you're up.
It's me. Okay, there is one episode that I am shocked that has not been chosen yet. I don't want to choose it because I honestly don't remember a ton about it, but I remember how it impacted me. So if it's not chosen by next round, I will choose it. Okay. And I just know that I don't really remember a lot, but I remember it being very impressive. So that's a little preface. But what I am going to choose is, I think, a really iconic moment because it had a lasting impact, number one, on people's lives, I think, to this day. Not I think, to this day. But number two, lasting impact on the game. And it's going to be from All Stars, Anger, Tears, and Chaos. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be the Lex blind, or not really blindside, but blindside. Lex vote out.
Lex murder.
Yeah, because like it's really kind of, the whole thing is really insane, right? You know, he goes, please protect Amber. He protects Amber. They're friends outside of the game, right? And yet still, you know, he orchestrates this vote out. And I think, you know, when I watched this for the first time, I was absolutely like in shock that it actually happened. Like it was so crazy to me that somebody who you are friends with and you made this promise to, you know, you decide to vote them out. And obviously it helped, you know, Rob in his real life. You know, Amber ended up winning the season, all of these things. But it's just kind of like crazy to think about. And I think it's just like a really impactful episode. So that's going to be my next choice.
That's a great
very good choice.
Yeah, that was the gravity of that one was crazy because I mean, when Lex is saying, I thought we were friends, it's like a legitimate, I thought we were friends.
Yeah, like genuinely, I really thought we were friends.
So we're down to 5 picks left for me and Alexa. Everybody else has 4. And coming into this, I was like, man, I'm really worried I'm not going to get the episodes that I want. And now, as you can see, it's bleeding off the bottom. It wasn't supposed to take up this much space because everybody's going to take them. Instead, I'm worried I'm not going to get the episodes I want because there's too many of them still left. I can't believe that some of the names that are still out here are still out here. And I'm going to Heroes versus Villains the second time. Slay everyone, trust no one.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Good choice. Great
That's
choice.
the
Great
greatest
choice.
pick. That's the greatest premiere in the history of the show. I think I would put that over Beg, Barter, Steal and over the Marooning. I think it's the best premiere in the history of the show. The epicness of that has never been replicated by Survivor. Coming in on the helicopters, that first challenge is insane. Watching all of these people who we actually love and adore play Survivor together. Like, that was, to me, the actual ultimate all-star season. Even all-stars didn't have 18 people you fully cared about. Like, this season, I think most people would agree it pretty much goes 18 for 20 or 19 for 20, depending on where you stand with Candace and Danielle. But, like, that opening is insane. Watching them all play together is crazy. The boot of sugar is very standard and by the book, but who cares? The rest of the episode is just so cinematic. It's my favorite premiere in the history of the show, and I can't believe I have the 2 best episodes, or 2 of the 3 best episodes from Heroes versus Villains on my list. I mean, thank you all.
How did they not let us? How did we come in on boats for Winners at War? Like the same boats as every other season.
So bad.
I was like, what? Is this all we're doing? That's it. Come on, guys. No helicopters.
But you got
How
a
was,
champagne
how was the
toast.
champagne? Was it good?
Yeah. Or was it Prosecco? Or was it
Yeah.
Prosecco?
It
I
was
was like,
Prosecco.
What's the catch here? We just like sipping champagne? I was like, is there something written on the bottom of this?
You guys should have come out of the water in scuba gear.
That would have been
Something,
sick.
you know? I was certain we were going in on helicopters. And then when we didn't, I was like, oh, this is normal Survivor budgets, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
the extra million's going to Tony, not
Yeah, they blew it on the extra million, not on
Okay,
the
besides the extra million.
Mhm. All right, Alexa, you got back to back. You got 5 left.
Yeah, I think Phil, I mean, I'm looking at your list. All of us were like, this was meaningful to me. This was my first episode. And Phil, you're just like,
Yeah.
you stayed focused.
I love
However-
these episodes, though. I think, like, for
Oh,
me, Alexa, I
absolutely.
hear what you're saying. I just love them all so much. These are like my favorites. still
So
have
this is one I'm shocked survived as well. Ready to bite the apple. James voted out with 2 idols. Has anything been from Survivor China even been picked?
No.
I don't think so. So this is not only James getting voted out with 2 idols, but this is also PG and Denise going to the Shaolin Temple. So this is also a throwback to when rewards were banging rewards. So fantastic episode. That is my first choice.
Great pick.
Thank you, Blake. That's an honor coming from you. I am going to go wrong yet again. I am not here to make good friends. This
I like
is
this one too.
the Scott vote out. This is the culmination of the evil trio of Scott, Jason, and and Ty never quite fit in. And it was a nonverbal, just shaking his head no, and that changed it all. So happy to have this episode.
That episode, I mean, those are 2 great episodes
Yeah.
there. Definitely high on my list. I can't believe you're getting them in the 5th and 6th round, Alexa.
Thrilled.
I can't believe it.
I
can't
couldn't
believe-
possibly pick what the part 2. It has to be Tegwith. You have to get both of them.
I just want
That'll be
to
my
tell you-
10th
She has both of them already. Okay, don't make her do another one. It doesn't
I-
make
It's
sense.
okay. It'll be my 11th choice.
Yeah, I just want
Part
to
2
make
kind of
sure
sucks.
that we waste one on it. That's all. That's all I'm saying. All right. I'm going to go a little bit more new school. I guess it's not new school, but I'm going to go a little bit earlier here. I am going to go with maybe the best episode from Millennials vs. Gen X, and that could have something to do with the fact that Adam's barely in it. I don't know. Adam, you
I
have to-
will
you have to tell
destroy
me.
you.
I will destroy you.
Do it.
The Michaela blindside. Like, oh my God, that episode. And here's what I have to say about this one that I really just want to attached to this because personal stories. Alexa said I'm not personal enough. Everybody sit down and shut up. Will and I, this is actually the episode. This is the episode that aired after Will essentially got hired by John Kierhofer. We went to the event that EW was throwing, EW Pop Fest. It was right around Halloween in Los Angeles. And we went to it, and Jeff was there, and a bunch of players were there. And they showed us the buildup of this episode, like the beginning of it. We got to see a clip, and I think it's the part where Hannah's talking about Ken or something like that. I don't know, whatever it is. But whatever it is, we get to watch an early portion of this. And so we're all watching it, and me and Will went home, and we're like, well, it's going to be Brett or Sunday or Will who's going to go home because they're barely getting an edit. Like, it's going to be obvious that it's them. We had all known that Michaela was coming back for Game Changers. So we'd gotten a little tease. We're all trying to pretend to be excited. And then the episode aired. And when Michaela turns around and just yells at Jay, was that you or whatever? And he just goes, yes. Yes, it was. There's like nothing more stone cold in the history of Survivor than that, because Michaela would have probably worked with him. I mean, Adam, I know you probably talked about this on your tell-all and you probably talked about this to death, but I just feel like in terms of blindsides, not just for the players playing, but for the audience who knew Michaela was coming back, who was watching Sunday and Brett and Will barely have an edit. It seemed so obvious that one of Sunday or Brett was going home in this episode. And instead it ends up being Michaela. She forgets her damn shoes. It's just incredible TV. It's one of my all-time favorite blindsides.
Fucked up something real good.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly right. So
Great,
I will
great
destroy
choice.
you as my 6th round pick.
All right, so it's me now, right?
Yep.
All right, I guess I have to choose it. So I already prefaced this. I don't really remember the episode. Like, I can't go into details, but I remember being so impressed. And it's just Tony to the Tony degree, right? And I'm really shocked that this has not been chosen. I'm not going to lie.
Extortion.
This is Extortion from Winners at War.
Good choice.
It again, I remember it vaguely being very impressed because Tony is Tony. But I don't really remember the specifics. I really thought somebody else was going to choose it at this point, but I feel like I can't let it go one more round, just sitting in my definitely column. So I'm choosing it.
Well, the other thing is, this is also when Sophie got blindsided with the idol.
Yes.
And had no idea it was coming. I mean, this episode, Tony sets the record, I think, for confessionals in this episode. Adam, was this one episode after you voted out or 2? Because I honestly can't remember with Winners at War with the boot order.
2, I think.
It was
Definitely.
2.
No, 1 was Tyson. Tyson was next. So yeah.
Okay. So shortly after Adam does like the fleur-de-lis thing, this is when Winners at War started to cook a little bit and people were like, oh, hell yeah. And then like after this episode, I feel like it was just kind of whatever the rest of the time. But this one is, I mean, Tony sets the record for confessionals. He does not stop talking this entire episode, but it's one of the best setups for a winner because you're just like, how is he going to get through this? What is he going to do? Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised this one wasn't picked yet too. But
I'm shocked. Nicholas says, I can't believe nobody picked us until now. Nicholas, I'm also shocked. And I even gave fair warning. I said, if it's not picked by the next time I'm around, I got to pick it. So here we go.
Oh, that's a good one. All right, Blake. Have we dug into any of yours yet, Blake? Because you've only picked from the first 17 seasons. So genuinely, like, have we touched anything you care about or no?
My note cards are getting blown to hell. Yes.
Okay,
and
good.
I was kind of like, I want to make sure when I look back at this, I represent some of my favorite seasons with some of the best of all time as well. But this is an episode that I blew my mind deep into it, kind of like Cream Cheese, where in San Juan del Sur, every single moment of like, it's our family members starts coming to a head. Baylor gets called a brat. John Klin have a major fight. John Klin was my favorite duo of like, of course they're going to win or whatever. This is amazing. I was excited, but I also liked Natalie. It was interesting seeing everybody go through all this and like, well, what do John and Jacqueline think? But John and Jacqueline aren't talking to each other because they've had a little bit of a tiff. And instead of just being allies in a Survivor game, they're also probably going to get married one day. So it was a married tiff where you're like, this isn't how Survivor works. Let's figure this out. Everyone was so frustrated. They were stifled, if you want to use Tasha's words. But it's like they couldn't do a normal Survivor game because the twist of family members finally comes and rears its ugly head. I think it was one of the episodes where I was like, this is something I've never seen. because normally it's like, let's just talk this out. What is the smartest thing? I don't think people were doing the smart thing this episode either. And it was very cool to watch the family stuff come into play. And like, you're going to call my daughter a brat? Like, yes, Baylor's awful. Okay. Like, Missy, shut up. But it's like, Missy's one of my favorites too. So it's just something where I think that's my favorite part of San Juan del Sur, which is one of my favorite seasons that people hate for some reason.
Who hates San Juan del Sur?
I like it. It's a good
made-up
season.
story, Blake.
I will fight them. I will literally fight them.
Adam's over here silent because he hates that season. He's also
No. I'm just thinking. I know I'm next, and I'm trying to decide.
Kind of like Cream Cheese is one I think I'll always watch and love. So.
Well, this is like when people do like fantasy football drafts and stuff, and somebody takes that deep cut and everybody's like, oh yeah, hold on, I was really about to take them. Adam, if you're looking at the list I sent you yesterday, you don't have to cross this one off. And Alexa, neither do you. So yeah, Blake with the real deep cut here, just letting everybody know. But I knew that this was going to be a personal favorite for him with season 29. So Adam's got back-to-back. We only have 3 full rounds left. I know we were worried this was going to go too long. I mean, are we too short? Did we want this to be 3 hours? Do we need to drag this out a little bit? Alexa's like, please, God, no, shut up. This is what I don't miss, Phil. This is why I left. Adam, you got 2.
Yeah, this is where I start to struggle a little bit more. All right, I'm gonna go next with a fan requested one.
Ooh.
This is one that I would not have thought of, but I posted on Instagram asking for people's suggestions, and I saw this a few times. And I had to look it up. I was like, and it turns out this was a pretty big deal. And it was the Leanne blindside of Survivor Vanuatu.
That was my secret pick. That was my heart one, Adam. Surprise and surprise again.
Yep, surprise and surprise again. Sorry, Phil. Yeah, I'm going with the fan pick there. So shout out to everybody who sent that to me on Instagram. But I watched in my little study session, I watched that tribal council and just the way that Amy looks at Eliza, because the plan was supposed to be that Eliza was getting voted out. And one Eliza vote comes out and Eliza looks at Amy like, oh no, am I going home? And Amy just sort of condescendingly is like, yeah, sorry, it's you. Sorry, sucks. And then the way that plays out. And then also just this has big ramifications for the rest of the season because the trust with the women is just completely broken after this. And I think it's the only way, then that Chris is able to sort of slither through the rest of the game. And Twyla, apparently lies on her son in the process of pulling off this blindside, like on the life of her son. And one of the things that Google told me was that her son was not too pleased about that afterwards. So, yeah, but and then it comes up at Final Tribal Council. So this is I think that's a big one and
that's requested. Adam, I'm mad at the fans who told you to take that because that is legitimately like a top 15 episode in the history of the show for me. And I thought for sure when Alexa's saying personal ones, she knows how much I love Chris Doherty. She knows how much I love Vanuatu.
That was like on my I can grab in my like 8th pick list.
I was going to take it before Alexa gets back to back on this next one because I thought for sure it would be there. People always overlook Vanuatu. That's one of my favorite seasons of all time. Blake's got it on his note card. Blake's about to be down to a quarter of a note card here in a second.
This next one, I'm like deciding up until the last minute. There's a few that I am picking between. I'm going to go with Sneak Attack from Survivor David vs. Goliath, episode 8. This is the minority split vote where they get out the mayor of Slamtown. And it also has the Davey. First of all, Davey plays his idol, but he also pulls off the distraction in this episode where he's like standing out at the rock while I think Nick and maybe Carl are going off like doing something with an advantage or something else. I mean, this season is just one of the best. Oh, and then and then Angelina gets Dan to play his idol for her, which he obviously didn't want to do, but she sort of like forces him to. I mean, there's just a lot of great moments in this one. So Sneak Attack.
Love it. Love it. David versus Goliath getting represented again. Blake, you're up again.
Okay. From one Blood versus Water season to the other one. Let's rustle feathers.
Nice.
Great
out here.
choice.
Good choice.
Great choice.
It is a blast of an episode if you haven't seen it in a long time. Holy crap. First of all, we have, we know that Tina's going to come back in the game. This is the one where she almost loses. I was like, what is about to happen? And Caleb's stack falls down. You're like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. I love whenever there's the person comes back and is like, you guys are all going to lose to him, right? Hayden has that. If you guys are all going to lose to Tyson, everybody's like, oh, who cares? And like normally every other time somebody just goes, oh, we have a dumb normal boot. But after Jervis wins the reward / immunity and takes Tyson and Monica with him and leaves those 3 people back to just talk, the dumbest thing you can't do, they have enough time to talk to Sierra. Sierra still looks like she's not going to do it, but it happens at Tribal. She comes to her senses, and we have one of the craziest Tribal in years. We have Tyson at his angriest. He's a top 5 character from Monday. I think this is his best episode of when push comes to shove. Tyson's going to push you full force and shove you out of the game. There's your seat over there. Russell Feathers. It's Russell Feathers. And just the semantics while people are playing $1 million shell game, basically, because we're drawing rocks. Drawing rocks, I think, has been a little bit underrepresented on here. We don't have many rock draw episodes.
Yeah,
so
Adam,
I think
what the hell?
It kills.
You can't
kills
just rely
that,
on me
that
for
bird.
millennials Gen X.
And Jervis winning immunity is something where he was like, I still got it, even though he didn't win immunity on his first one. It's like, what do you mean you still got it, bro? You never had it. This is the first time you got it. I love that episode. It was my favorite of that season for sure.
Great choice.
Good choice there, Blake. Tagwith, you're up.
All right. I'm actually going to go to another Blood versus Water season. Obviously back to San Juan del Sur. This episode I really like because it has multiple idol plays. Multiple idol plays. I just iconic moments, and it's got to be, what is it called? It's called This Is Where We Build Trust. So it's the episode where Wes essentially gets voted out because his dad plays his idol on himself. John plays an idol. Wes goes out with just 2 votes against him, which I just think is kind of like, the whole thing is really kind of crazy. And then also, like, for some reason, that challenge is so memorable to me because, Natalie's alliance members go down, and what was it, Keith, who says, like, you see everyone sitting over there and she's still there. And then Reed spits, and then she spits and it gets on her. And then when Reed wins, he does like a split. Like, that whole thing is so memorable to me. And San Juan del Sur is genuinely one of my top favorite seasons of Survivor, like, ever. I think the Natalie's idol play is so good, and like the whole thing. But I love this episode just because I think it's really kind of sad, but kind of beautiful that his son goes out because he plays his idol for himself. It was either going to be him or a son. I don't know. I just think it's a great episode. I think this is also the episode where Natalie finds her idol. So I think it's a really fun episode. I think it's like I said, one of my favorite seasons of all time. And I had to have it represented on my list in some way, shape, or form. So this is how I'm going to do it.
Good choice.
Love it. I kind of forget how good that episode is. I haven't rewatched San Juan del Sur in a while. I thought you were going to go with Let's Make a Move, the John boot, which, sorry, Blake, if I brought that up and now people are going to steal it from you, but that's where I thought you were going to go. But yeah, the West Blind Side, I always forget about that.
Because John has an idol. He plays it on himself. Keith has the idol because I think the votes were like 5-3-2 or something. And so it was literally going to be like, he goes home with literally just 2 votes against him. It's incredible.
Yeah. Right after a 5-3-2 vote that sent Jeremy home. So it's back-to-back 5-3-2 votes. As insane as that is. All right. There are 2 more episodes there's one from Heroes, Villains, and one from Micronesia that I'm really hoping I get picked, but I'm trying not to just like stack my list with
what the hell, Phil?
Heroes, Villains. Like, dude, there's
he's only
one more
seen 2 seasons.
I'm telling you, I mean, so I gotta try to spread it out, I guess, a little bit more. I am going to go with, I want to see if I can make a deal from Survivor Fiji, The episode where Yao Man decides that he's going to give Dreams his car so that
Nice.
Dreams will give up immunity to take Yao Man to the end of the game.
This is the one earlier where I thought that this is what we were talking about with the 2-episode thing, because this is where I said, which episode do you pick?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good point. Why? Because are you saying because at the end, like, because we don't get the payoff entirely?
Correct.
I think for this one though, man, I guess here's what I'll say about it, and here's why I think I go this route, and I'll take this portion of it, because then I forget what the next one is, the finale, I think, right? You've got that puzzled look. I'm gonna go with I want to see if I can make a deal, because first of all, you get the blind side of Stacy. Yao Man plays the idol successfully so that Stacy goes home. So that's a great blind side right there. 4-2. The first successful idol play in Survivor history happens in this episode. And then you have Yao Man making that deal, and it's leading to that question of like, oh my God, is Yao Man actually going to win this game? Like, is this Yao Man's game to lose? Because Dreams is going to do this. And it led to that water cooler talk again of, do you think he's going to do it? Do you not think he's going to do it? What's going to happen? So I think that this is the better episode, because I also think that the finale, you've got that puzzled look. That final 3 is so disappointing. Like, it's so boring, and the jury is just like not worth listening to for so much of that season. So I'll go with I think one of the most forgotten iconic moments in the history of the show.
Great way to put it.
Alexa, you get back to back, and then you're going to have the last pick of the draft after this. So.
Oh, wow. All right. Back to back. So I am going to take another finale. This is It's Do or Die, the Survivor Cagayan finale. And I was watching Cagayan live. I was not the biggest Tony fan, but the entire episode, the buildup of Wu, like going into it knowing there's absolutely no way that Wu would ever pick Tony, and then watching him slowly get convinced, and then the final tribal council itself was fantastic. I think the Tony and Trish moment is one that is very much seared into my memory. So very happy to have this one. And this season has been deeply underrepresented in this draft, now that I'm thinking about it.
I think you have both picks, don't? Oh no, I got the merge, and you got this one. That's it. There's only 2.
So I'll take it. So it happens on this 49 seasons.
I also think though, Alexa, like you bring up a good point with this one. This was our senior year of college while we were or your junior year, my senior year. We're watching this season, and it's like we hadn't seen a season in so long where it felt like going into the finale, everybody could win. And I remember like this was the first time where we watched a couple of these episodes together. Yeah. I know we'd watched the premiere together because everybody was like, is David Sampson really like going to be the first boot, which was crazy being in Miami at that time. Yeah. But I mean, this was one of the only finales where you truly felt like anybody could win going into it. And that's just incredible.
I'm laughing at Nicholas Snyder's comment because that's like a day in the life in my hometown.
In your heart of hearts. Was
your
it
heart of hearts. Yes. Also, go Canes. Big night tomorrow night. And my second pick, oh crap, I just X'd out of it. I don't remember the episode name. I will pull it up. This is on nobody's list, presumably. Heroes, Healers, Hustlers, the Pasta Reward Challenge.
Like that.
I think I like this season more than a lot of people do, but I thought this was a very creative reward challenge that I'm very confused as to why it hasn't been replicated, because I assume it is very cost effective to do this challenge, to do this reward. I think it was so creative. This was a season that had already been simmering. These are alliances and people that really don't like each other. And if I remember correctly, the people who are on that reward were pretty much everyone from one alliance and Joe, who I at the time couldn't stand, and no one in that alliance could stand. So at the end, the vote out itself, I don't think is particularly interesting, but that is a reward that has very much stuck with me.
Playing with the Devil.
Thank you. Yes,
is what that one is called. I like this pick. I think that Heroes, Healers, Hustlers does a lot more creative stuff than people give it credit for. I think people just get so mad by the end game of that season.
Yeah.
I went on that podcast, Alexa, and I remember I said, I think this is one of the best finales in the history of the show. And I got absolutely decimated by the chat. I still think that is one of the best finales in the history of the show. It's just pure excitement the entire time. And honestly, Chrissy versus Ben is a really good ending. And Ryan sitting there as that third person, it's one of the only final threes where all three people get votes until suddenly in season 48 and 49, everybody is playing with the devil. Look at that. Heroes, Healers, Hustlers currently has as much representation as China.
Oh my gosh.
Don't say that.
I'm just saying.
Blake, you can fix that.
Yeah, well, I have to go first.
Take the finale.
Oh, God. All right, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to do it. I am going with, speaking of fixing things, I'm going to fix her from Micronesia, the Amanda Kimmel idol. This is just like, we've never seen this since. We had never seen it at that time. Amanda Kimmel, we don't know if she has found the idol or not. The fan favorite, back-to-back seasons, and she goes and she's playing sad and she's all depressed at Tribal. She can't believe they're turning on her. She's going to go home. And then when she just gets up and says, I didn't lie when I told you, like, it's so incredible. And again, that season was just on like one of the biggest heaters of all time with the blindsides that were going on. And it was topped the next week by Alexa's #1 pick. If it smells like a rat, give it cheese. But I think this one gets forgotten because, yes, it's an idol play. And if you just read the Wikipedia, you're gonna be like, it's an idol play. But the fact that we as an audience had no idea if she had found it or not, and I still think that's the only time in Survivor history that we as an audience were actually left in the dark. It's one of the most unique episodes ever, and I got to go with it here. In the 9th round, I'm getting Amanda Kimmel having her iconic moment. So thank you. I'll take that.
Swinging the idol was so good.
It's so good. The smile on her face,
so
the
good.
damn backwards hat and stuff, and the big eyes. It's so over the
So
top,
good.
and it's just perfect. It's also the episode where James gets medevaced, which is depressing, but I'll live with it.
Okay, so I'm next, right?
Yep.
I have a couple of different ways that I can go with this, and I'm really struggling to choose. I just want to say I have a lot of New Era episodes on here, and you guys are so lucky that I know that everyone hates the New Era. So there are a lot that I haven't chosen. I'll probably choose one next round. This one's kind of New Era. It's not technically New Era. And this might be a hot take. This is probably going to be, people might get mad at me for choosing this, but it is such an interesting episode because we're kind of seeing an entire winning game in just one episode. It is, or, basically in one episode. And I think it's maybe kind of crazy that I'm choosing something from 39 to be on this, but it's kind of, it's what's it called in a TV show where you don't leave that room?
Bottle
It's
episode.
a bottle episode. It's Survivor's one and only bottle episode, if you will. And I hate the name of the episode. Well, I See the $1 Million. Boo, boring name. But it's the finale of 39. And it's because so much happens. Like it is, is it great in the whole scheme of Survivor? Like, we talk about episodes that kind of change the game and are really important to the game of Survivor. Is this one of them? No. But it is so interesting to see what he does with this return from extinction.
38. I think you mean 38. I was
38.
like, what is
I'm
going on
sorry.
here? What are you talking about?
I'm sitting here and I'm nodding along with you, Tegwith, and I'm like, hell
what
yeah,
is
that's
she
a great
talking
episode.
about?
Woohoo.
I get 38
I was
and
like-
39 confused like nobody's business.
I
I'm
was
so
like,
sorry.
Totally.
I was
bottled
waiting
that.
for you to
I'm
say
so
something
sorry.
specific about the season
There.
and be like, I don't think
God.
that's the one you're thinking of.
I'm
There
so
it is.
sorry. You're right. So sorry.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you
Dan
guys.
Spiegel episode. It's like, no, Tegwith, stop.
No,
Change the
sorry.
game.
38. I guess I always think that 38 is the one right before 40. It's not. But I
Should've
do
been.
think it's a really interesting. So sorry. Everyone's so mad at me. in the comments. Very sorry. I do. It's just such a crazy episode. Like it's a bottle episode. It's crazy. Yeah. So that's going to be my 9th choice here.
All right.
I think that's a great pick. At first, I didn't think it was a
Sorry.
great pick. That is, in fact, a great pick. Adam's face, Tegwith, I don't know if you were looking at all of our face reactions. Adam's face at the bottom being like the inquisitive looks and like the look around and everything was truly fantastic. I know Alexa can't move because her microphone will come unplugged, but I could feel Alexa's heart like hammering through her chest. This is not the right choice or the right space for this.
I saw all of that and I was like, man, I didn't think it was that bad of a choice. But I knew that people probably wouldn't get why I was doing it. So I was like, man, that's a big reaction for that.
When you said it was a bottle episode, I was like, it sure is.
Yeah.
It sure is. No, LOL. No, but it's just like you kind of think about everything that happened in that one episode. You know, giving up immunity, playing in the fire. Everything is just it's crazy.
Lauren's
It's a crazy
idol
episode.
was in that episode too.
You're right. And Lauren playing it for Chris, and then it's just the whole thing is crazy. So
yeah.
Sorry, you know what? I did that on purpose for dramatic effect.
There you go.
Can't
Yeah,
wait
I'm
for your
sure.
10th pick.
Blake about to hit us with a good one too. Please, Blake, get us back on the right track. Forget Phil and Idol.
Phil and I were at that finale, and I was like, I know it wasn't that good. Okay. I have been sticking to things that I think are anomalies. And what is the most brutal challenge throw in Survivor history? Getting rid of somebody that probably could have gone far, putting our another favorite person dead to rights in the next episode. Love is in the air from China. Aaron's boot of watch Jamie, this poor girl from like the country, just have the most brutal, like, no, throw the puzzle pieces over there. PG's like, okay. I think it's probably one of the coolest tribe swaps ever too, of like, pick your best people. Like, that's more creative than what they do now. And there's some other ones like Gabones is really cool too, but that's one where it's like, pick your best people. Now they're gone. And it was like, oh crap, what do we do? I like China a lot. It feels like it's so good that where there's not peaks and valleys, but this is a thing I'll remember always of like, damn, James is screwed. James is like, no, this isn't cool. Like, vote me out of here. And they're like, no, we're going to keep you because you're stronger than Aaron or whatever. And Aaron would probably come after us later. Like, it looks like you gave up already. There's a lot of cool, interesting things that are going on. And most of my people, like, I like everybody on Fei Long besides Aaron. Perfect. This is the perfect boot order for me. And I don't know if this is the one where they do impressions or not. Maybe that's the next episode, but it is during the swap when Sharia and Courtney are together. So it's either this one or the next one. So maybe I'm putting that in there too. But I think this is the most brutal challenge throw in Survivor history. And I actually like that kind of gameplay.
Andy Vogel, 13-year-old me, has never been angrier than when he heard the words, I'm good at Sudoku. I mean, just incredible. Blake, I appreciate that you can take something you hate so much, or that most people would hate so much, and put it there, because that is a great episode and it's only satisfying because you know the payoff. I could not stand those two people watching that. I was so happy when Jamie played the fake idol wrong. Anyway, Blake, that's a great pick. China getting some love, not from an episode I was expecting, but that is such a good episode. And that's the one where Eric says he's a virgin, right? That's why it's called Love is in the Air, I think.
Yeah, they're starting to fall in love.
There you go. Yeah, yikes. Exactly.
Eric, are you still a virgin?
Jean Robert hitting him with the line
best
of all
question.
lines. Adam, you have 2 picks left.
Yeah, these are my last 2, right?
Yes,
Jeff.
All right, this is hard. I have so many that I want to pick. I don't know, but none of whatever. All right, so for my second to last pick, I'm picking between 2 finale episodes, and both have very iconic moments in Survivor history. I'm going to go with one that was just jaw-dropping to me. And I have video to prove it. It's going to be the finale of Ghost Island.
Hey, I started typing that.
Yeah, it is Game Time Kids. And look, it's not the most entertaining season that there ever was, but all of that culminates in seeing, these 2 incredible players go head to head in the final 3. And I just remember when he said, I'm going to read the votes, and it hitting me that they tied, and all of the emotions that went along with that. So yeah, it was a tough choice, but I think I'm gonna go with that because obviously, it was a slow build up to that, but a really big payoff.
That was
an
episode I was going to take here, Adam. I was going to be my last pick, so thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. And then for my last pick, I think I want a little bit more of a humorous one. I can't remember if we were filming yet or if this was before we went live, when somebody joked about what if somebody just randomly picks like the episode where like astronaut Dan gets voted off. And you know what? Let's pick that episode because that episode is on my list. And it's a great one. It's called Salvation and Desertion. It's episode 6, season 12. And the reason it's on my list is nothing to do with astronaut Dan being voted off, but it's the village reward, where I used to love these rewards. They would actually go and interact with. I had a few of these village rewards on my list. I'm not going to say another one because I don't, just in case somebody picks it. But this one is particularly funny because it's the Kasaya tribe, who is such a mess, and you've got Shane bumming a smoke off of some like random villager and just like giving up his shirt and his shoes and whatever. It's very reminds me of like, you know, the first episode of Survivor Pearl Islands, which again is another one of my favorites, and just the interaction with the local community and the humor that comes along with that. And I think it's hilarious that you said who's ever going to pick the episode where like astronaut Dan gets voted off. And
Cale Donnelly. Cale Donnelly, that was their pick for over here. That's what they commented. That's the deep cut. Cale Donnelly says Salvation and Desertion. Every time I watch that challenge, I go, no, Dan won't lose this. There's no way. He has such a lead. It's a 4-piece puzzle. He's an astronaut. Unbelievable. And they all salute him on his way out. Just incredible.
Wait, what was the looting? I don't remember.
No, they salute.
They salute him.
Salute him.
Yeah,
they had different music.
And then they take all the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought they like went through his stuff and like stole it all. Yes, they salute him. Yes.
Can I have your shorts, Dan? Dan, your shorts.
Oh God. All right, Blake, your last pick.
I thought I was going to be the only one to take an episode from this season because it was wildly hated whenever it came on. But I think this is my favorite GIF set I've ever seen. GIF for some people. When Edgardo gets voted out in Fiji, it's a turtle.
That was my next one.
Yep. The most electric.
Such a good episode.
How did this happen? We have zigged when the people have zagged. Stacy was one of my like underrated, and they made so much fun of me. But just like Cowboy, she's the person who goes, let's think about this a little harder. Why don't we vote for somebody they'll never see coming and their idol has no power, which is a conversation we see 50 times a season. Now, that's from her first. And I think the face drops of Mookie, the Alex Angrita's like smiling huge, and his, oh God, and Edgardo goes eyes to in is just, it's cinema before cinema existed. It is my favorite Survivor tribal, what people thought was going to happen and how it got flipped on them. It is, it sucks we have to watch all around it to get to that moment, but it's amazing. I love that episode.
Fantastic choice.
Really good choice.
I was
Almost
between those
that.
two, and I want to see if I can make a deal. That's what I was between.
I want to make sure. So when Ryan and I were coming up with these, if you guys don't know, if you guys aren't patrons, you should be. Once a month, my partner Ryan, Phil, and I will do a random draft, whatever. And so Ryan, but while we were coming up with the list, It's a Turtle is on my list, and next to it he goes, I think Phil's going to choose that one. I think Phil's choosing It's a Turtle. So he was close. Somebody did choose it.
Ryan knows me.
Yeah, he knows you. He knows you so well. Okay, that's really fun. Okay, I'm probably gonna. So I'm gonna choose a new era here, guys. Sorry, not sorry.
Somebody's got to do it.
I'm gonna do the new era. It's a new era sandwich. And you know what? If I'm the person that made sure Parvati was 30 at least on our list. And you know what? I'm gonna be here for the new era representation. I've got a lot of new era on my list, so I'm choosing hide and seek was one of them. I don't know that I'm going to go with hide and seek.
Ooh.
I don't know if I'm going with hide and seek though, because hide and seek's a great episode.
I'm not Batman. I'm the Canadian.
No, okay. I don't know. This might be a personal one, and I think you guys might be mad that I'm choosing this one, but I'm doing it anyway.
We're not at all, Tig. You're a great
we're
person.
furious.
Yeah.
I'm furious.
Off the podcast before she can say it.
No, I'm going with following a dead horse to water, which is, I believe, and if I'm wrong with the name, I think that's the name of the first auction back in the new era. So it's 45. It's Kelly Nalbandian's Blindside boot episode. And it is, number one, it's just like, okay, personally, I was very excited. I got invited to a pre-screening. It was the first time I ever got to see Survivor early. It was really crazy. It was really, really fun. It was in New York. So this episode holds a very special place in my heart. But also Kelly was one of my favorite people on the season. And the fact that she got blindsided in an iconic way was crazy. But also like the auction was back. And like nothing brought me more joy that finally we're getting the auction back on our screens. And I know that like it's not perfect. And I think there's a lot of things that, could be better with the auction, how they'd have it. But I'm just like, at least we've got it back. And then I think Bruce had like no money. And so he couldn't bid on anything. And he was one that ended up losing his vote because he had no money. And I thought that was funny. So I think it's a really fun episode. And the Kelly boot, I think, is a really good blindside. But yeah, so I'm going to go with that for my final choice.
Love it. I would have thought hide and seek. That was the next one, but that's also a really good one. The What the Hell Guys it's so good. The Whisper.
I will say all of my episodes from the new era, literally all of the episodes from the new era are except for I have tied one from 43, but other than that, they were all from 46, 47, 45, 46, and 47. Like all of the ones on my list were from those seasons. So
yeah, Alexa, are you going to go new era with your last pick? I know I'm up, but I have to ask that question.
I don't want to give an answer. You're certainly not going to pick one from the new era.
Go ahead.
My last two options.
No. Microphone. Alexa, this is how you build suspense. You are doing you're doing the Blake thing. This is perfect. Even Blake couldn't do it this well, though. Alexa's now too good at it. All right. I'm never
Phil, you're up first anyway. Just
all right.
Go for it.
Well, I wanted to hear what you okay. Well, and then it unplugged again. All right. I actually am between a new era one and I'm between a pre-40 one. I can't believe none of you took this episode because Tegwith, I know you, and I'm going to look at your list real quick. You have one from season 37, so I guess that's enough. How did nobody take Breath First Search?
Yeah, I was on my list.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that episode, especially since it was Dan going home, who I think everybody was so over by that point. Like Johnny Mundo going the week before wasn't as satisfying. It's a great episode, but you like Johnny Mundo a lot more. And Dan had kind of just started going the wrong way. You're like, I don't really understand what this guy's deal is. I don't want to watch this. And then all we have is Christian saying, we're going to go find this thing. And Carl ends up finding it. And here's an idol. And this is an idol nullifier. And at the end, who did that? Carl with the bing. I mean, I just think that episode is absolutely incredible. And so I have to go with that one. Such a satisfying ending. You get a little bit of that good feeling for the Davids. Even though David does end up winning, it was like, oh, it looks like Christian and Gabby and Davey have a shot here. So Breath First Search. I'm surprised that I got that one in the last round. And Nick Snyder's over here. Phil, you're supposed to carry the torch for us Gabler stands. Trust me, the season 43 finale was very much alive to be picked here. And I don't care what anybody says.
It was in Phil's top 300.
It was the third episode here. It wasn't the other one I was considering. Alexa, you're back. You get to close this thing out.
All right. So I was between something from season 1 and something from season 46. And I'm going to go with hide and seek.
Good choice.
If anyone who has listened to me when I was a regular on this podcast knows that I have been deeply unimpressed with the new era, but I do remember watching this episode and thinking, we found the perfect combination of we found the perfect coach for someone who isn't a Coach fan. And that is me. Like Q had me the entire season. It was Phil, were we even podcasting this season or not? That's how long.
No, you had just left.
I think I had just left.
Yeah,
and it was probably one of those where I was like, put me back in. But I remember watching this and thinking there is so much to talk about here. This is so much fun. And there's not really any analysis needed. This is just exactly what we've all been begging for so long.
Mhm.
And we also forget that Q then offers to get voted out while at the tribal council, which then throws off the entire tribal council. So
Let's say it like it is. He quit.
yes,
Tried.
He tried.
He sure
He
tried.
failed at quitting.
Multiple times.
I don't think Jeff would
Multiple
invite
times
a
that
quitter
season.
to 50. So
But he did. But he did.
Tried to quit like 5 times that season. It's absolutely incredible. Oh,
yeah, this is like
gosh.
number 3 of 5. The other one I was thinking of, which is like pivotal to Survivor, but didn't. I'm like you. I did not start from season 1. It was the Jay for Jenna vote.
Mhm. I must do that one too.
But then again, if that happened in today's age, people would lose their mind that like someone accidentally went home because her name started with the letter J. And now she's back.
Absolutely.
what?
Yeah.
Gasp.
I was between. I actually thought telenovela. That was the one that I was thinking of.
That's
I was
a good
between
one.
telenovela and Breath First Search, the Cody blindside. It's one of the that's probably the most cutthroat moment of the new era. I love that move from Jesse. So those were actually the two that I was between. I love telenovela, but
Telenovela is
I had to
such
go
a
with
good
the
one.
older school episode here.
Will
Adam?
was texting me, how is nobody picking telenovela? And
Did
I'm
he
like,
actually
"Bro,
text you that?
yes." I was like, if you wanted to pick telenovela, you could have been here.
Damn right.
That's
So
exactly
I
right. That's
love
why I
that
didn't do it.
that's the last one that didn't make the cut.
He
just
watched
for
all hour 50 minutes of this.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's
The,
too busy to come on, but he's watching.
And then the other one that I know he loves that doesn't make it is Zipping Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which is Malcolm's double idol play in Caramoan. That didn't end up
I was
making
surprised
anybody's
nobody
list
took
either.
that.
I have a lot of these written down, so
On
I'm just
my
going to
list.
kind of like list off. Swimming with Sharks from Pearl Islands,
Yep.
the Rupert boot. I was surprised nobody took that one. It's funny when people cry. The Tyson blindside and Tocantins was one that was definitely on my radar. The one that I knew nobody was going to pick that I was considering, but I couldn't have 3 from season 20. Once I got Slay, Everyone Trust No One. Tonight We Make Our Move is probably like, that's like my deep cut. That's the Tom Westman idol play to get Sari out of the game. I just think that episode when Tom and Colby and JT are having that conversation, it's like, man, I'm watching 3, nuclear physicists figure out, all of the world's problems here. I just love that moment so much. So anyway, those were
Can
ones
I
that
do a
kind
few
of
of my honorable mentions too.
Yeah, let's hear them.
Go for it, Adam.
Also from Heroes and Villains, I thought Jumping Ship was a fun one with the Danielle and Amanda fight at the reward challenge with Colby in the bed. The finale that I almost picked was the Ultimate Shock from Palau with that challenge that goes all throughout the night, and then the how emotional that was. I thought about the loved ones visit with Sean's dad from season 1, just because of like how unexpected and the fact that he's like captaining this yacht or whatever. And so if I had a few loved ones like the one from Tocantins, See You Back at Camp. That's a great one too. What else did I have here? Oh, Cat's Blindside from One World. It was just a really juicy one. I'm surprised the Rock Draw from Millennials Gen X didn't come up at all.
I almost chose that one. As my last one.
And then I was never gonna pick this one because I don't like this episode because of what happened. But the way that Zeke handled everything when he was outed was just like so inspiring and beautiful to me. One of the most emotional I've ever been watching Survivor for good reasons and how he responded, but I just can't pick it because it's like, you know what I mean? It's not a good episode. But yeah. Oh, and the Ethan Village reward as well. From when they get the goats and Ethan and Lex go out to the village in season 3. I just love the village stuff, interacting with the community. Those are really cool. Oh, and one more fan shout out. Sorry. Somebody recommended on Instagram, John Benducci said, Secrets and Lies and an Idol Surprise. The Idol is definitely on the ground episode from Survivor Guatemala. I thought that was a fun.
That's a very good one.
It's a really good one.
Yeah, there were 2 others from Africa that I thought could have been brought up, which was the Great Adventure, because that's the best reward the show's ever done. And I know people always crave that. And then Smoking Out the Snake when Lex is trying to figure out who voted for him, and Kelly Goldsmith pretty much flips the game, and then Brandon for some reason flips too. I still don't know how Lex survived that. We have Audrey Radijak.
Oh, I had that. Sorry, that's the same one as the Ethan Village reward. That's the same episode.
Oh, it's the same episode. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's another reason why I almost picked it.
Okay. Audrey Radijak says sour grapes from Amazon. It's after Rob blindsides Alex. It's the where Heidi and Jenna hate him, but they get back on his side to blindside Chrissy. Christy. So that's a good one. Alexa, what were some of your honorable mentions? Do you have any?
Oh, cut to someone else because I closed my
all right.
thing.
What do you have? I know.
I almost chose Dead Man Walking from Philippines, which was the Penner one. I really like that episode because how many times had he been out there? 3. This is his 3rd time out there. Never won an immunity 1 time, and the time he needed it, he wins immunity, and it just sends it into chaos. It's like so good. Definitely one of the biggest ones. I also, you guys are, I mean, it's a lot of new era stuff here I left on the table. Run the Red Light is the Applebee's, explosion, with, I'm pissed, but then also a Tiffany Blindside. So like with an idol in the pocket. So iconic moment, but also, a good blindside. Also, No Man Left Behind from 45, which is a pre-merge, but it's Sabaya's boot episode. And I think this is pivotal for like Emily and her, she is like, Caleb took her under her wing, but then she's learned. And now she's like, now I'm saving you, Caleb. And I think that, the barbecuing, the grilling, the wax idol is so funny. So I think it's such a good episode, but I feel like there are, so also the Emily Blindside. Oh, wait. One I really almost chose, but I was like, I will get bullied online if I do, is Feel the FOMO, which is Rome's boot from 47, because I think it's I don't think it's the best episode of all time. I think it's a really fun episode because everybody knows what's coming. It's like the Eric, we got to see every single like voting confessional, the entire episode. We're like, Rome, how can you not see what's going on here? And I think it's a really fun moment for the fans to really be in on everything that's going on. And I really loved that episode. I thought it was very fun and some of the best voting confessionals in the new era, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think people would have been happy if you picked the Rome getting voted out.
Really? I should have done it. Damn.
No shade, Rome. Alexa, do you have yours back up?
I do. For hype, the winners at War Premiere and unfortunately the lack of helicopters was made up for with the champagne toast. But I remember watching that and just being like, oh my God, Kim's talking. Denise is like, every single person was like, every person you've talked about was there. So Adam, I'm sorry I didn't pick that one. I really wanted the Russell vote in Philippines. I was disappointed to not be able to get that one. J for Jenna. And I almost picked the Cook Islands auction too. The vote out.
Alexa's about
every
to
time she
throw
touches
that
her hair,
microphone.
it's so good.
Alexa's about to take that microphone and throw that thing. All right, come on, Alexa, you're back.
What about the auction?
The Cook Islands auction. I liked that one. I think Yule was such a kind of stiff, not the most exciting character. And then you have Parvati taking a bath next to him. And he's clearly so uncomfortable. And I think at that point is when they have been trying to get rid of Adam and he just keeps winning immunities. So I really like that one as well. Also the Lex and Ethan Africa reward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the Lex and Ethan Africa reward, if we would have actually ranked the top 50 episodes, would have ended up in it. But because of the way we all picked, it's not there. But I think that's one that probably would have been maybe top 30. I think we all love that one.
Yeah.
It just ultimately doesn't end up making it here. Yeah, love those. So, Blake, what's your note card say?
Okay, stuff left on the note cards after every other person said every other thing. Crocs, Cowboys, and City Slickers. This is the episode where we bait Blake, the golden boy, of just a beat down on the most annoying person in our tribe. I love episodes like that. The only time a Blake has ever been voted out is
Bait Blake, so good. Oh man, I should have chosen that one. That's such a good one. I didn't even think of that one.
Then we have a China episode called the High School Friend Contest, which is when Jean Robert goes home. Watch him get beat up and Jean Robert, we'll get you out of here. You're so smart. We got to get you out of here. There's a lot of stuff that I would go into more detail. Hot Girl with a Grudge. How does Jatia dump rice everywhere and still stick through 2 votes? The craziest premiere for a person ever. That's for Will because he would have had some Jatia episodes. David versus Goliath finale is I'm surprised nobody did that because of how funny it was. And I kind of was like surprised by the winner of that one. I think
was that the finale? Was the ladder in the finale?
Yes.
Oh, it was. Okay.
And the wine. Yeah.
And the wine. Yeah. That was an iconic moment.
I do think the culmination of Edge of Extinction, there's always a twist when Rick comes back into the game, was very interesting for all the other stuff we had to do for that. I'm Not Batman, I'm the Canadian is the best shot in the dark. And then I went ahead and said Blood Will Be Drawn from 49 because that is the most, like, I was super surprised because I thought Nate was getting like 5th place because of all these other people are going to be on 50. So that's the first time in a while I've been like completely surprised by a vote.
Yeah.
So
that's a good one too. Yeah. And people are saying lack of Palau is disappointing. I did have the Stephanie as the Tribe of One on there, but ultimately like just not as exciting enough to get over the hump.
I think XL Island is very good, but it's like they get decimated and it's not a single episode where they lose every challenge. It happens throughout the season.
And I also almost like put on there I don't know what the episode was called, but the challenge, the long challenge between Ian.
Yeah, that's
the finale.
That was the finale. Okay. Yeah. But I just almost was like with that one, I was like, it's just like, I feel like it's just that, you know, I feel like there's not much else in that episode.
Patrick, I'm surprised Blake didn't pretend to pick the original Hourglass episode.
That would go on one of the worst episodes of all time.
Yeah, that's our next episode.
That was when Alexa and I, after that podcast ended, it was like, are we still doing this? Is this the end of the
That
podcast?
was a tough debrief.
That was legitimately Alexa and I had a full conversation about ending the podcast.
Yeah, what's the point?
Like
What's the
mid-season.
point at that point?
Yeah.
So bad.
It was over. But Adam, thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you guys. What?
That was painless. That was good. What do you have going on? I know you get to do this. You did this not too long ago, actually. We had you on not too long ago, but what do you have going on? What's casting?
Oh, what's casting? I don't know. So if you're trying to apply for Survivor 51 and 52, you probably should have already. But Big Brother's gonna start casting up again. Traders is somehow still casting. What did they just announce? They just announced the floor is opening back up again. I don't know. You caught me off guard. But if you want to work on any auditions for whatever, hit me up. But I don't know. I'm doing a lot of travel, and I might be moving to Mexico City, and I'm just figuring my life out. So
there you go. Well, we will be back in a week. Alexa will be here too. We're doing a Survivor things, Survivor isms. What makes you think of Survivor draft? Will be in the Adam Klein spot. That one was easy enough for him, you know. So he will be in here for that one. The 5 of us will be drafting in a very similar fashion to this and doing that. Will and I will be live with the Traders recap. Sorry, Tag, one sec. We're going to be live with the Traders recap on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time, 1 p.m. Pacific, because Miami plays in the semifinals tomorrow, and that's more important for our lives. And also, it's 3 episodes. I'm not staying up till 1 a.m. for the Traders. I'm sorry. So it's all about the U. Hook 'em, Blake. Get out of here. So we'll be live 4 p.m. recapping all 3 episodes of the Traders. Tag with, what do you got?
Tomorrow I'm still TBD on the time, but I'm going live with Mike Bloom on a series that I'm doing during the off season called Surviving the Fandom, and I'm talking with people who are fans of the show who have not been on the show, and whom either have made their name within the Survivor community or maybe are in a different field, or who are just fans of Survivor and how we're going to talk about how Survivor impacts their life and what they love about the show and why they're still watching. And I've got some really, really, really fun guests lined up for this off season, and I'm really excited to start it off with Mike Bloom, a pillar of the Survivor super fandom community. So I'm really, really excited to chat with him. Time is still TBD, but once I know, you guys will know. But it's going to be a really, really fun chat. So check that out tomorrow.
That is a very
Super
cool
excited for
series. I like that.
Thanks. I'm really excited about it. I've got some really fun people.
Sweet.
And Destination X, that's the one that I forgot. Destination X is
I like that Adam finally found that one. I'm very excited about that tag with that series. And John and McKenna started teasing the best moments in Survivor history, which is going to be a podcast that John came up with the idea for. So this would be John McKenna. I'm going to jump on most of them. Blake, we got to talk. But it's going to be a really good series. It's five episode series where they're going to kind of talk about the best moments, the defining episodes of 10 season stretches. And we've gotten so much response to that. I mean, our Instagram has never blown up like this. I met Jeff Probst. I took a picture with Probst. We posted that and nobody cared. And then we do this and it's like, let me tell you all of the great moments in Survivor history. Alexa and I competed in a challenge against each other. Nobody cared about that. It's like, they want this.
That was the greatest moment in Survivor history.
That was a good one. But yeah, so that series is going to be coming out too. We're going to be having a really, really busy January and February. And that's not even considering the fact that Australian Survivor is going to start at some point. So get ready for all of that. Blake's biting his nails. Blake, do you have anything you want to add, or are we done?
Vote for the winner of this draft in the comments of YouTube, and whoever does win will get $5.
I am gonna have Austin.
For real?
No,
Send that
not
over.
real. Adam is supplying the prize. He won Survivor.
I like winning stuff, though.
That was like 8 years ago.
We know.
Or something.
Rizzo was a fan of this podcast back when you were winning buffs with this podcast.
Really?
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, you and Rizzo are now officially our longest running fans, biggest super fans. You're just older, so you're more vocal. But yeah, anyway, thank you all so much for listening.
You're gonna get the Rizzo tell-all?
Wouldn't that be lovely, Adam? Wouldn't that be wonderful? Hopefully after Survivor 50, because it's certainly not happening now. Yeah, Survivor 50. There's Tegwith with her buff. As you'll notice, I do not have one. Okay, Tegwith does. I do not.
Period.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm out of here. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you all next Wednesday if you're looking for Survivor content. Tomorrow if you're looking for Tegwith talking to Mike Bloom, and Friday if you're into the traders. Bye, everybody.
See ya.